To dig deep into this property I purchased. It was a fourplex. It's the first property I've ever had. So I the I weirdly got into it because initially I actually started trying to raise money because I was tired of paying my student loans. This was, I want to say, late December of last year. So literally a year ago. Oh, interesting. I never thought about it. It's like literally a year ago. This whole thing has been a year in the making. So basically, a year ago in December, I got a second job at HEB as a night stalker. And as you know, during the holidays, it gets kind of wild. So they're kind of just hiring temporary people. So I was hired as a temporary person for like 3 months or something like that. That's how long it is, or 90 days. So I was, just doing night stalking while working at my current job, doing night stalking on the side. I was putting in a bunch of hours. I basically just decided to save my pennies until I had a substantial amount, because instead of just paying my student loans, which I was trying to pay monthly, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna kind of make this huge, I guess, like little pile, and then I'll just throw it all at one time and then kind of get rid of that debt. I want to say I quit in March, about 3 months. And funny enough, I literally kind of quit. I was tired of it anyways. I was like, I knew I was going to either get fired or I was going to quit, so I ended up quitting. So I had my money in the bank. It was like about $8,000 I'd saved up. And I was just going to throw it, boom, at the debt just to get rid of it. However, at this time, funny enough, COVID happened. And everything went to crap. Stock market went down. Everybody was freaking out. When this happened, they actually did like a for the stocks. I mean, for stocks. Sorry, for student loans, you didn't actually have to pay them, and they actually brought it down to a 0%. So you didn't have to pay them, and they were at 0%. So I said, do I really want to throw all this or clear this debt when I don't have to? So I decided, you know what, I'm going to leave that alone for now. I'm just going to kind of leave this pile of money in the bank because for one, it looked nice in there. I liked looking at the $8,000. And two, I had never really had $8,000 just in the bank before, so it kind of was a little bit dear to my heart. So I decided, I'm just going to hold on to this for a while. I'm scrolling through the internet. I keep seeing these stupid little ads about like stocks, and these guys make a bunch of money. They're young kids. They're like driving around with Ferraris and stuff. So I didn't think, I mean, obviously I knew that was just a scam. But I was like, you know what? Let me look at the stock market. I haven't looked at the stock market. Maybe I can figure this stuff out. So I look at the stock market. Everything's like crazy low. And I said, you know what? I'm going to slowly be putting like 1,000, couple hundred into the stock market, see if I can do good. So I did that, and stocks started going up a little bit, and I was like, wow, I'm making a few $100 on this. Let me just throw it all in. I threw in my 8,000. I ended up getting it up to like about $16,000, doubling my money. And I was like, wow, this money, I mean, this stock thing's pretty easy and awesome. But the only thing is that it is a little volatile, so I didn't really like that. So I said, you know what, I want to kind of put some of this money into something more secure, like an actual property. So I actually initially thought, I'll buy a house. So I went to the bank. I got pre-approved for $115,000 at my local bank, and I felt like $115,000 was good, but I feel like it could do a lot better. So I went to my bank in Austin, or I called them. I didn't go. Called my bank in Austin, and I said, hey, can I get a pre-approval? They gave me my pre-approval based on my income at $150,000. Which was a good amount. And I started looking around for houses. I was like, this is a good amount, 150,000. I could find a good house. So then what happened is I looked around, and I accidentally bumped into a triplex that was listed wrong. So because of this triplex, I was like, interesting. Maybe I can buy a triplex. But the only thing was that my loan was an FHA loan, because it was a first home buyer loan. And what I didn't know at the time was that you can actually get approved on an FHA up to a fourplex. So you can actually live in one of them and then rent out of the other three. So I said, wow, that's so interesting. Maybe I could buy the triplex, live in one, rent out the other two. So I looked at this deal. I was really nervous. I had never done a deal like this. So I said, oh, this triplex is really good, but let me talk to some people. I spent a long time asking questions. And in the end, they got into an option and somebody bought it from California. I was so mad. I was like, man, I should have jumped on this deal. I spent too much time. Next time this happens, that won't happen again. I won't do it like this. So basically, I kind of just saved my money. It kept growing in the stocks. I got up to like 18,000. My realtor is like, you need to find a place. Realtors, they're always want you to like, let's look around. I looked around. I felt kind of bad for her because she did show me a bunch of places. Finally, I'm scrolling through the internet, and I see this Fourplex. And so that's what we're going to talk about. I actually found this Fourplex. It was listed at $215,000. And so we're going to break that down right now. So let's look at the numbers. This Fourplex I found was actually listed at $215,000, as you can see here. I want to say about I guess August. I approached them and I said, hey, I don't have $215,000, but I have $200,000. I'm pre-approved for $200,000. And the reason why I got approved for $200,000 is because I was first approved for $115,000, but then I actually had gotten a raise, and I wanted to wait a couple months, and then I finally did that, and they gave me another pre-approval. However, the pre-approval was weird because of COVID. They told me I was being approved for $200,000, but I didn't have it in paper, and so I approached these guys selling this property and I said, hey, just wait, I want this property at $200,000. I just, chill. They didn't want to chill. It ended up getting off the market. It was an option. So I was stuck like an idiot. Just like, man, I have a $200,000 pre-approval, but I couldn't get it, and it sucks. I was like, this is life telling me it's not meant to be. So basically, it was an option for about a month, and I got my pre-approval at the time. I was like, oh man, why couldn't you come in sooner? So that actually fell through. As you can see right here, it became a pending sale in August. So finally, they put it back on the market. Actually, I want to say, yeah, they put it back on the market. And then basically in September, I once it fell through, my realtor approached them and was like, hey, my buyer wants this property, but we want to see what you had at an option. And they had an option actually at $190. So instead of the $200 that I was offering them, we now gave it to them, or we told them, hey, it's going to be $190 because it's not fair that you were going to sell it from $90 to someone else, and now we want it. So they said okay. And then on top of that, the good thing is, my realtor said, hey, you want to pay less down? We can tell them to put in $5,000, and then we can just purchase it at $195. That way, in the long run, I spend more money, but in the short run, I bring less to the table, if that makes sense, on the down payment, or to close. And so it took a while. I want to say it took about 2 months. As you can see here, the pending sale, 9/11 is when it went off the market, and then on November 7th, that's when I bought it. I technically bought it on the 8th, but yeah. So anyways, for 2 months, it was just back and forth. They had to do an extension, stuff like that. But the great news is at $190, at $195, I was going to buy the property. But then we got an appraisal. The appraisal finally came in at $185. This property was only worth $185,000. So I had two options. Either I can meet them at $180, or I could get it at $180, or tell them, hey, I can only do $185. Even better, my realtor decided to approach them, and I told them, hey, I'll buy it even if they want it at $190 or $185. My realtor said, hey, let me just approach them, tell them, hey, we're only going to do $185 because it's not fair. The appraisal's only worth $185, so there's nothing we can do. And so my realtor did that, and on top of that, she told them, hey, the $5,000. So they agreed to both, and so I ended up actually getting the property at $180, and then buying it at $185, and then they brought in $5,000 for the closing costs. So I brought very little to the actual closing. So even though it says right here list and remove at 210, it's actually 185 at what I bought it, or 180 actually. So we're gonna look at it. This is actually it's a fourplex. It is a fourplex. Oh wow, this information sucks. Okay, so whatever. We're just gonna look at it, and it is a fourplex. Each one is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and they have parking. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, anyways, we're gonna look at my estimate real quick, so you guys know I'm not lying. See, the loan amount is $181. I'm actually only gonna pay $700 a month. I got the interest rate at 2.25, which is sick because of COVID. Awesome. And as you can see right here, with all my other things, total with escrow, everything all together is about $1,334, right? So that's my insurance, that's my taxes, and that's my payment. So that's after that. So anyways, as you can see right here, the market value was 210. That's what I put it. And these are my numbers I'm breaking down for you guys, just like that. And also I got this Excel sheet from a friend, so I'm very grateful to them for this. It actually helps a lot. I changed some stuff, but for the most part it's the same. So as you can see right here, it's the market value is $210,000. It's appraised at $185. I bought it at $185. The seller brought in $5,200. It was actually $5,800, but my stupid bank was like, well, you need to bring a certain amount in to close, so we brought it down to $5,200. Jerks. The appraisal cost about $900. The survey was $500. Home inspection, repairs. I mean, I've actually spent less than this. I just put $500 because I do everything myself. By the way, you save a lot of money when you do stuff yourself. I mean, but if you don't, obviously hire somebody. You don't want to get hurt or break something, even worse. Make all your tenants mad at you. The property taxes are freaking high, dude. I am never buying a property near a school again. No, I'm just kidding. I will. But schools, like, dude, everything's closed right now. Why are you guys taxing me? You guys don't even have, I don't know, man. I don't know. Insurance is high, $1,900. And rent, I'm actually getting, now I'm getting $2,000 because I'm charging each one $500 a month. And there's 4. But I actually told them I'm gonna raise it in January to $525, and they're all okay with it, so I'm happy. So anyways, it's gonna be $2,100. It helps me in the bottom end, that's why I'm doing it. I feel like it will be worth $210 once I do the repairs, because all the repairs are very small repairs. It's just very annoying things, and like a coat of paint, boom, easy. I'm assuming it's going to go up in value with percent. It's actually usually about 2 to 3%, but I'm just putting 1% to be safe. My down payment was actually 3.5, but it actually it rounds up to 4%, so it's actually 3.5. I did it for 30 years. Interest rate 2.25. The lender fees were $7,879. Just FYI, when you do a loan, they do 2 to 3 months in your down payment That way, when you or your cash to close, I guess. That way, they know you have enough to cover for the first 2 to 3 months. Like your taxes, your insurance, stuff like that. So the mortgage insurance, when you spend less than 20% on a loan, usually they'll require a PI, which is just mortgage insurance, property insurance. Meaning, if you fail to pay the loan, the bank is safe. So you're literally paying insurance for their loan, which is funny, but whatever, man, that's life. So I actually ended up paying, like I said, a 3.5 down payment because it's an FHA. So as you can see, my first year, the gains are gonna be sick because I brought so little to cash to close. We're gonna go back to my estimate. My cash to close was $8,000. I actually ended up only bringing in like $5,000 because some other stuff was credits or whatever, and then I ended up, because the close was $13,000, but then it's about $5,000 because of the seller bringing in their credits, and then they gave me some credits from the bank itself, so I ended up, and then on top of that, you spend $1,000 on the title, when you do the title company, they like keep $1,000 earnest money to make sure you're paid. And so I ended up only bringing like 5,000 to on the day. So yeah, that's pretty cool. $5,000. So anyways, cash on cash return is about 70%, which is sick. Monthly cash flow, it's about $2,100. The no payment $682. About property taxes $353. Insurance, well, so anyways, I'm making about $780 a month cash flow, meaning like after everything's paid for, insurance, mortgage, PI, yeah, insurance, but whatever. Anyways, I'm making about $780, but I also have to pay for the trash can and the water, and I think I got it. It was like about $80, so I'm actually only making about $700. And that's not including, I mean, I think it was like $60 to $70, but I just rounded up to 80 because it makes it 700, and I like even numbers. So anyways, as you can see, the down payment, about 6,000, closing costs, whatever, boring. Mortgage, my mortgage is $185. I put a down payment of 6,000 total. That's how much the loan still has. A little worst case scenario, let's say somebody doesn't want to pay, or I'm only getting about 90% of the actual rent. Something happens, like something breaks, I'll still get 42% cash on cash return, which is sick. And then this is the beautiful numbers right here. This is like, oh man, this is like bread and butter, bro. 5-year evaluation. So check this out. This is where you'll be in 5 years. This is expected value in 5 years is $220,000. That's how much property will be worth in 5 years. The principal, meaning how much I'll still owe on the loan, is about $146. You subtract the 2, that means your equity. Equity is how much money you own in the actual property, if that makes sense. Like how much of the property you own. Like if you sold it, that's how much you have. Which is $74,000. That's why it's equity capture. And then my cash flow, this is the money I get from rent after paying everything. It's $46,000 in 5 years. 47. The maintenance, $9,000, meaning like if I, if I have to fix stuff and I have to pay for stuff like an AC break, something, that would be scary, but whatever. And then 6% real estate is pretty high. I mean, it's usually about 5 because each person the buyer and the seller, the realtors get like 2.5 or 3%, depends on what they negotiate. So in the end, 5-year equity and cash gains is about $98,000. Cash on cash return is 742%. What? And then yearly average cash on cash return is 149%. FYI, this is a sick deal. It's not the sickest deal out there, but it's a really sick deal. And so that's why I ended up getting this property. And that's actually why I wanted to like break it down for you guys. This is just one of those deals that it's like, I like brought in so little money to the deal, and like, I don't know, man. I don't know why more people aren't doing real estate. I'm already looking at my second deal that I want to do, but I'm kind of slowing it down. I talked to my brother, and he was like, kind of talked me out of it because I was so energized. So it's been a month since I've done this deal, and I'm really excited. I want to get to my next one, but I mean, I'm just gonna wait it out, see how this goes. But yeah, that's me breaking down this deal. I asked this question on Facebook. People wanted this, so let me know if I did a good job breaking it down, or if you guys have any more questions. If you want me to do a second follow-up to this video, let me know. I'm making good money on this deal, and hopefully I'll make more, and I'll be able to share it with you guys. See you guys.